Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the 3-minute thesis competition held at the University of KwaZulu-Natal for our PhD students. So this is turned out to be an annual event that we've been having for the last 2 years or so. And this allows our students to present their theses for their PhD projects in 3 minutes. And it's actually quite exciting because 3 minutes is the amount of time you actually take to make a cup of tea. And hopefully our PhD students can tell you what they are doing in 3 to 4 years in the time it takes to make a cup of tea. So to start this morning's proceedings, I'm going to welcome Professor Mosa Moshebela, who is the Deputy Vice Chancellor of Research at the University of KwaZulu-Natal. And I'm going to invite him to open this morning's proceedings. Professor Moshebela.
Thank you so much, Professor Kubanali. Good morning, colleagues. Good morning, everyone. I want to take this special moment to welcome you to the 3 minutes thesis competition here at the University of KwaZulu-Natal. And I want to greet all the panelists that are present here, the organizers present, but most importantly, our students who are going to be presenting their thesis in 3 minutes. And also welcome all of you, the attendees who are here. Now, I just want to quickly say that, for us, this space is a science communication space. And in many ways, I think we often get so bogged down with writing within our disciplines, within the silo spaces that we normally work. We don't necessarily stop, pause, lift our heads, look around and realize that there's so many other people who are interested in understanding the work that we're doing. And when we communicate our research, we need to make sure that the language that we use, the way we present, the way we articulate the essence of our research is understandable to a much larger audience. And this is really what science communication tries to help us. Now, if we are able to communicate in such a way that the work that we do can be accessible to a much larger audience, what we are going to see is a much bigger impact of our research, because people are all the time looking for information, be it to improve the work that they do, be it to improve the quality of their lives, be it to solve problems in terms of what they see in society. And all of those things depend on knowledge that we generate within the research spaces that we are all involved in. But oftentimes it gets stuck either in our thesis or it gets stuck in our journals, and it's often not accessible to even people who are making policies. So it's imperative, in my view, that we regularly, now and then, take time off from the desk, come out, make sure that we take the time to synthesize the work that we do, share it with a much larger audience, and make sure that we are clear to the audience that we're speaking to in a way that we present it. We will often hear that people are saying that, can you give us a 30 seconds elevator speech, especially when we are looking for funding or when we are looking to persuade policymakers or decision makers. So we have to start learning much earlier in our career to communicate science. And I think as the University of KwaZulu-Natal, we do take science communication very seriously. You will see that a lot of our academics are also involved in communicating science in the media. And corporate relations in the university is very much at the heart of ensuring that they are the gateway in helping our scientists communicate their work with the public. So for me, this space that we are creating here, it's really a space where we essentially encourage, support, and reward our graduates, our students, in terms of the efforts that they put into science communication. Last year, we had 2 of our candidates that were won in this competition go to the national 3 minutes thesis competition. I think it was held at the University of the Free State, even though it was virtual. And one of them essentially got a runner-up prize. And if I recall properly, her name was Zakiti Mkize, who basically was also a runner-up in this competition here. So, and I suppose it's important also to say that one of our academics who was in the College of Humanities in the School of Applied Human Sciences was one of the judges at that competition. And it was interesting because even in that competition that we had, we did not necessarily have presenters from humanities. Nevertheless, I think that it is very encouraging to see all of our colleges participating in this competition in one way or another, whether as judges or whether as presenters or contestants, whatever the case. And it is an institution-wide effort that we are supporting, and we will have prizes that will be awarded to winners. And so it's very exciting for us to embark in this process. And hopefully we will once again be represented at the nationals later in the year. And also hopefully once again win a prize, because our process is very thorough and rigorous. So welcome everyone, very exciting. And I'm looking forward to seeing the showcase that will be coming from our contestant. Over to you, Program Director. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Moshobela. As Prof. Moshobela said, this allows our students to communicate their research to a wider audience, not just a specialist audience. And in many cases, when we do science and do research in the university, we write up these results in the form of publications for scientific journals or journals that are geared toward the discipline in which the research is carried out. And in many cases, only discipline experts can actually engage with those results. So this allows now a wider audience to get to see what research is being carried out at the University of KwaZulu-Natal, and more importantly, how it impacts to the lives of the everyday citizen. So we're hoping that today we achieve that particular aim and objective by allowing you to see what we do. The 3-minute thesis competition was actually founded by the University of Queensland in Australia, and it allowed students to pitch their theses in 3 minutes to a wide audience, allowing many students to pitch their theses all in the same day. Normally, when students give presentations, it takes 45 minutes to an hour to present their work completely to a specialist audience. But this is actually aimed at making an impact and getting the audience to want to know more. So today, the students are being judged on how they interact with the audience and how the presentation actually covers their theses to a wide audience, and whether or not the audience would be able to understand the research. We're also going to judge them on their presentation and whether or not they're going to leave the audience with wanting to know more about their particular research. So that's what the judges are going to be appraising the candidates on. And to introduce you to our judges in the competition, you've all met Professor Moshobela, who's the Deputy Vice Chancellor of Research at UKZN. Our second judge is Professor Urmila Bob, who is the University Dean of Research. We also have Professor Anil Chiturgun, who is the Dean of Research in the College of Health Sciences. Professor Colette Muller, who is the Dean of Research in the College of Law and Management Studies, and Dr. Sinele Gumede, who's a Senior Lecturer in the College of Law and Management Studies, and who's been involved in this competition for a number of years, and I think who's also judged at the national level as well. Now, all our students would have gone through a college round where they've also attended the competition and come in the top 3 or top 2 of their particular college competitions. So they've been through one round already. They were the best in those colleges, and they've been chosen by those colleges to present at today's competition. So without further ado, I'm going to wish all the contestants the best of luck, and I'm going to start the proceedings today. So our first speaker for today is Kanku Lobali. His thesis is on the study of the structure of nanomaterials by investigating the properties of nanoparticles. His supervisors are Professor Mohammadi, Professor Nayamori, and Mr. Obwaka. Kanku, over to you.
The Holy Bible states in the book of Genesis, chapter 2, verse 7, part A, then the Lord God formed a man from the dust of the ground. By just looking into the seated statement, we can easily see that dust was a raw material used to produce a humankind, according to the word of God. And when we look into one of the properties of dust, what can we think of their size? It could be micrometer or nanometer. When the tiny powder is utilized as a raw material, the final product, it could be nanometer or micrometer. When the tiny powder is utilized as a raw material, the final product is always preferable. Just looking into the final product. The challenging part is when those tiny powder classified as nano-sized material are being used. As they are so small, it becomes difficult to visualize them accurately with naked eyes. Sometimes even touch them, but still they are beneficial. Thus, we need to understand and know their behavior when used. We have taken some strategy to get important information on their structure using image analysis and change on their structure by studying their flowability to check the change in their property when they behave like liquid. Now we understand how the tiny nanoparticle can behave through the study that we are doing. We are able to remove pollutant in the size of nanometer from wastewater to turn it into drinking water. We are turning the picture in the bottom left of the screen to the image on the right of the screen. Then diesel is sustainably produced when catalysts are used based on nanomaterial. Now we understand better the behavior of this tiny nano-sized material. We are opening a new door to a new area of study. The shift from nanotechnology to a new bowl. Thank you.
Thank you, Kanku, for that presentation. We're ready for the next one. Our next speaker is Ngoni Zachi Ruizi, and his talk is on the computer-aided drug design of multifunctional heteroatom metallodrugs as anti-cancer agents. His supervisors are Professor Bala, Dr. Singh, and Professor Awaga. Ngoni, whenever you're ready.
On the 10th of June, 2022, the breaking news on most websites and TV stations reading rectal cancer drug trial of dostarlimab cures all patients brought excitement and hope not only to the rectal cancer patients, but to the scientific researchers and the world at large. As a country that spends 8.5% of its GDP on healthcare, and a public health system that caters for 84% of the population, while least utilizing half of the national health expenditure, it is no secret that South Africa needs to ease the pressure on its healthcare expenditure. Latest global cancer statistics reported 19.3 million new cancer cases and 10 million cancer-related deaths in 2020. In the same year, South Africa reported 110,000 new cancer cases and 56,000 cancer-related deaths. And the latest person to have succumbed to cancer is Bulelani Koyo, a gospel singer and a radio personality whose therapy was costing him 30,000 rands per month. With the annual incidence of new cancer cases expected to rise to 130,000 by 2030, surely cancer control initiatives are needed to address the ever-increasing and life-threatening cancer burden, thus working toward the United Nations Sustainability Development Goals. With such cancer statistics, surely no one would want to wait 12 years at a cost of $1.8 billion for the possible development of a potential anti-cancer drug. Furthermore, you cannot tell someone who relies on the SASSA grant or the minimum wage of 4,000 rands per month to buy platinum-based therapy that costs 54,000 rands per dose, and later be told that they need treatment for their kidneys and heart, which are some of the side effects of platinum-based therapy. That is why my PhD project employs the computer-aided drug design using latest artificial intelligence and machine learning tools to shorten the time and reduce the costs associated with the development of novel pyrazole functionalized N-heterocyclic carbene metallo drugs based on biocompatible and cheaper metallo drugs from the late transition metals. I thank you.
Thank you, Ngoni. Our next speaker is Impoi Maketa, whose thesis is on the incredible tale of breast cancer among Black South Africans. Supervisors are Professor Aldos and Dr. Usimaza. Impoi, whenever you're ready.
As many people may know, breast cancer has been synonymous with white women, simply because Blacks don't cry. And even though that is true, our DNA does. That's resulting in the development of breast cancer. Now, to try and understand the trends of breast cancer in Black women, especially in South Africa, we embarked on a retrospective study where we looked at files from a clinic at the Nkosi Albert Luthuli Central Hospital and looking at the data that was collected over a period of 11 years. What we noted was that the incidence of breast cancer has been increasing from as little as 1 Black patient per year in 2011 to 88 patients per year in 2021. We also noted that the type of breast cancer that these patients actually develop is quite aggressive and patients do not respond very well to treatment. Again, the average age at diagnosis was 40 years, which is almost 20 years lower than our Indian counterparts. Now, to try and understand the cause of this type of cancer in our population, we then looked at the patient's blood and screened for any disease-causing mutations that could have potentially predisposed the patients to cancer. As shown on the slide here, we identified a subset of mutations that were associated with breast cancer and were found to be unique to our Black South African population. Currently, these mutations are not incorporated in the diagnostic panel. We also found that these mutations account for only 15% of the patients, leaving the rest unspoken for. So we went a step further to actually try and understand how DNA responds to environmental stressors in a way that it could potentially lead to breast cancer. This phenomena is known as DNA methylation. We did this by comparing the methylation signatures in the cancerous tumors within the breast of each patient with the corresponding area that does not have cancer. We noted that the signatures within the tissues were actually very unique and worked independent of the mutation status, and they could have potentially predisposed the patients to breast cancer. Now, this study highlights two most important factors. First one being that breast cancer in South Africa knows no color. It affects Blacks, whites, Indians, and colors alike. And secondly, this study provided diagnostic options that could be considered, especially when approaching Black patients, as the current system is not optimal for our population. So it is without a doubt that the incidence of breast cancer is going to continue to increase in the coming years. However, with early detection, a more precise treatment approaches and appropriate treatment will be able to actually beat cancer by lowering the rates of mortality. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Olwasian Ojogiwa, whose thesis topic is Management of Organizational Cultural Change in the Public Sector, a perspective of the public health sector in Kwara State, Nigeria. The supervisor is Dr. Kwabi. Olwasian, whenever you're ready.
Imagine a tree whose roots are being eaten by termites and yet facing the stormy wind. Such is likened to the Nigerian public health sector, typically branded with internal challenges of malpractices, corruption, and ineffectiveness. Without doubt, environmental changes and the recent COVID-19 pandemic, among other external factors, have had their toll on the public health sector. Many development programs implemented to transform the organization have actually failed and been challenged because they are mostly focused on the structures, policies, and strategies of the organization. However, studies revealed that the proficiency of an organization to achieve an effective organizational change is influenced by the nature and principles of the organization. The organization's culture often neglected, yet they are linked solidly to the structures, processes through them. Policymakers and even scholars are earnestly in search of novel strategies to support organizational change and performance. So my doctoral thesis sought to answer questions regarding the modalities of initiating change that are effective. I diagnosed the existing and the preferred culture and performance lapses of the organization. I found an incompatibility between the existing and the preferred culture. I also found that the employees' level of management and their years of experience influences the culture and the performance of the organization. Given the outcome of my study, it highlights the need for cultural diagnosis of organization initiative. I envision the expansion of this thesis beyond the public sector because cultural change is an agenda for effective transformation beyond wishes and policies to strategic actions and practices. Thank you.
Thank you, Olwasian. Our next speaker is Suhaifa Bamji, and her thesis is on death and dying in a constitutional democracy, an analysis of the criminal law and a call for law reform. Her supervisors are Professor Friedman and Professor Reddy. Whenever you're ready, Suhaifa.
The cancer has spread. I can't give you what you want, Mary. It's murder. You're confused and the pain is making you irrational. It's not murder. It's mercy. I'm not confused. 3 days later, Mary was found dead, lying in a pool of blood. The note said, I had no other choice. Patients like Mary can choose. suffer the indignity of unbearable pain or the indignity of suicide. Now, it's perfectly legal for anyone to commit suicide, but patients who want their suffering to end are not free to choose how to do so, especially when they do not want to blow their brains out. Because euthanasia is murder, doctors cannot give patients like Mary medication for a humane and dignified death because the doctor will go to jail. I argue for the legalization of euthanasia by examining the criminal law, medical ethics, and basic human rights. In law, any intentional causing of death is murder if it is unethical. And in the context of death caused through medical treatment, it is perfectly legal and ethical for doctors to kill their patients by pulling the plug or terminal sedation. So killing patients slowly is legal and ethical. And like me, you're probably asking why. Why is a slow, painful death ethical, but a quick, pain-free one murder? My research showed that cancer patients are allowed to choose a slow and painful death. Neither the pain nor the illness makes their decision irrational. However, the very same patient with the same pain, same illness, same life expectancy is suddenly incompetent when she wants a quick, painless, and dignified death. Competence as the justification for what is allowed was proved to be the real irrationality. So, if it's not about competence, what is it really about? Morality. Good morals allow patients to choose a slow and painful death. But this rule was established before the Constitution, which guarantees the right to dignity as the moral good. Engaging dignity through the Constitution proved that calling euthanasia murder is immoral because it is actually inhumane to force patients to suffer, especially when they are competent. It is the ultimate indignity. I advocate for neither a pro-life nor a pro-death policy, but rather a pro-choice one. The law reforms I propose allow patients to choose a humane and dignified death. They allow doctors to help. Euthanasia is a moral good. It is humane. It is merciful. It's too late for Mary, but we can give patients like her a real choice. We can give them dignity if we allow them to choose what to do. I thank you.
Thank you, Suhaifa. Our next speaker is Sylvester Mukono, and his thesis is on biofilm control in water supply pipelines, applications of the nanoparticle efficacies of silver and copper, scourging slime. He supervises our Professor Kumrasamy and Dr. Adu. Sylvester, whenever you're ready.
To the man who tamed his ego and pride, so I could chase my dreams. This is a simple gift of adoration and reverence from a son to a father whose sacrifices did not go unnoticed. Contestants, viewers, judges, good morning. Having grown from Zimbabwe, a place of failed infrastructure, I acknowledge the need for the basic human right of safe and clean drinking water. 71% of this rock we call home is water, and yet 1 of 5 people in developing countries do not have access to safe and clean drinking water due to infrastructure failure. And only half of the world's population has got pipe networks. And from these pipe networks, we still encounter waterborne disease outbreaks. Why? Biofilms. That green slimy layer that grows at the bottom of your swimming pools, that same green slimy layer grows on the inside of your pipeline. This green slimy layer protects and harbors bacteria and other microorganisms. And this results in corrosion being sped up and roughness of the pipeline being increased. These two things can lead to infrastructure failure. This green slimy layer biofilm is also a breeding ground for waterborne diseases such as diarrhea, cholera, and typhoid. The goal of my research is to obtain a technologically advanced device that would help scourge the slime by making use of silver and copper nanoparticles, the efficacies of which I have already proven in a preceding study. I'll be using these nanoparticles by embedding them on the inner lining for new pipes and also making a filtration system for existing pipe networks. This will make cleaner pipelines, and cleaner pipelines, lower maintenance costs, lower bursts, and lower pumping costs. This will put money back into the governing bodies and municipalities so they can extend their reach to the most remote of areas so everyone gets clean and safe drinking water. The World Health Organization estimates about 900,000 people die each and every year because of unsafe drinking water, and that's just in Africa. How many of us here know what a blue drop test is and which parameters and markers qualify clean water? How many of us test the water coming into our homes, yet 90% of us drink tap water each and every single day? I haven't grown in a place where 90% of the population baths in the buckets every single day. And I haven't seen my father do this day in and day out so he can go to work and come back and provide for us. I delivered to the man one day a solution with a gift card written to a man who tamed his ego and pride so I could chase my dreams. Let him, from this day on, shower like a king. Thank you.
Thank you, Sylvester. So ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of our round of presentations. All our contestants have now presented, and now it's time for the judges to caucus and choose their winners. But while we're doing that, we also have the people's vote as well. So we're going to allow the viewers to actually choose their particular winner for today's event. And while the judges are caucusing, the poll is going to be run, and you're able to choose your particular favorite for today, and we'll announce that particular winner as well once the judges have caucused and decided on a winner and a runner-up. So I'm going to hand over to Shakila to run that poll and to play your music interlude, and I'm going to invite the judges to now join on our other platform where we decide who the winners are. And I'm going to also ask the judges to keep themselves on mute and stop their videos while this is being done. So Shakila, the judges are now going to caucus and you can run your poll.
Yeah, I concur as well. Mine is exactly the same. Me?
KwaZulu-Natal is the subtropical pearl of South Africa, with boundless landscapes stretching from southern Africa's highest peaks to the golden sands of the Indian Ocean. Lying within this beautiful scenery is a university that strives to inspire greatness. The University of KwaZulu-Natal is the largest contact university in sub-Saharan Africa and the premier university of African scholarship. We are ranked as one of the top 3 research-led universities in South Africa and amongst the top 3% of universities worldwide. UKZN has over 49,000 students across all disciplines and is home to some 3,000 international students from 82 countries. The university encourages and embraces diversity in all facets of the student experience and has pioneered the introduction of isiZulu as a module in all undergraduate degree programs. UKZN boasts 5 campuses based in 2 cities, Durban and Pietermaritzburg. There are 4 colleges spread over these 5 campuses: the College of Agriculture, Engineering and Science, the College of Health Sciences, the College of Humanities, and the College of Law and Management Studies. The College of Agriculture, Engineering and Science is at the forefront of innovation and technology. Sophisticated software that examines radiation in outer space, an innovative and affordable 3D printed prosthetic hand, and the development of drought and disease-resistant staple crops enabling food security in Africa are just 3 of the many groundbreaking developments from this college. The College of Health Sciences is a multi-professional institution spread across 3 of our 5 campuses. A gel that reduces the incidence of HIV and a skin patch that administers insulin without needles are just 2 of the many world firsts that have come from this college. The College of Humanities actively contributes to the intellectual development of the region through annual international and popular festivals such as Time of the Writer, Durban International Film Festival, Jomba Contemporary Dance Experience, and Poetry Africa. The College of Law and Management Studies produces specialized and accredited professionals in the field of law, accounting, marketing, financial management, human resources, public administration, and IT. Our world-class amenities include lecture halls, science labs, art and music studios, theaters, indoor and outdoor sports arenas, and dedicated training facilities. These facilities support sports across the full spectrum, accommodating both the beginner and the professional. Our student accommodation, whether in on or off-campus residences, offers students a welcoming home from home and a place to make lifelong friendships. At UKZN, we strongly believe that higher education should be accessible to all. Many students make financial sacrifices to come to university, and we offer several avenues to support our student population in this respect. Generous scholarships are available for top academic and sports achievers, whilst the university works closely with the National NSFAS Bursary and Loan Scheme and with other external donors and funders to assist students in need. To study at UKZN, students need to apply online through the Central Applications Office. It is important to gain the best grade 11 and grade 12 marks possible, as all UKZN degrees have minimum entrance and matric subject requirements, and competition for places is fierce. Visit our website to access more information on our various degree programs. Whatever you are interested in, you can be sure that we offer something for everyone. Some of our famous alumni include South Africa's Chief Justice Mogoeng Mogoeng, founder of Gift of the Givers, Dr. Imtiaz Suleiman, UN AIDS Special Ambassador, Professor Karesha Abdul Karim, South African cricket stars Jonty Rhodes and Sean Pollock, TV star and actress Jessica Nkosi, and South African musician Zakes Bantwini. Whether it's in the field of academics, sports, or arts and culture, UKZN is home to those who are looking for more than just a university, but a place that celebrates the student experience. Come study with us in the knowledge that you will emerge with a fully accredited and highly respected degree, your stepping stone to lifelong success.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us for today. I see we've had 126 participants in this competition, and that includes, people at home, people at the university space, friends and colleagues of the people that are presenting. So thank you all for attending today and making it a really successful event. I hope that your voting at home and choosing the poll winner has been as exciting as the caucusing of the judges. We've had a very, very insightful caucusing meeting, and it was difficult to choose our winners and runners up, but we've managed to actually choose two contestants to present us at the national competition. And we've also managed to choose a runner-up in the event that something happens and one of the two contestants cannot actually present at the nationals. So without any further ado, I'm going to announce the second runner-up. And the second runner-up will be the person who is the reserve, and this person will present at the nationals if one of the top two contenders cannot present for whatever reason. And the second runner-up is Mpoi Maketa. So Mpoi, well done to you. Do you just want to show your face, Mpoi?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Prof.
Yes, very well done, Mpoi. Thank you. The first runner-up for the competition today, and as I said, it was a very, very close decision. Our second runner-up for today is Sylvester Mukono. Sylvester, well done to you, and you will be representing us at the national competition being held. So Sylvester, very well done to you. Thank you. Any words from you? You're on mute.
Thank you very much. Look forward to the nationals.
Great, thanks, Sylvester. We'll prepare you for the nationals. And our winner for today will be presenting us also at the nationals. Our winner for today's competition is Sohefa Bamji. Sohefa, very well done to you, and you are today's winner.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity. It was great, and looking forward to representing UKZN and flying the flag high.
No, great. Thank you, Sohefa. Shakira, do you want to let us know who the people's choice was?
Yes, that was Sohefa Bamji with 50%.
Great.
Sylvester and Mpoi came in at 19%.
Great, great, great. So thank you to the public and the audience. I see that your choices were slap bang on our choices as judges. So I think we've actually done a very good job as judges, and you've done a good job at home. So well done to you as well. So Sohefa was the people's choice, and Sylvester and Mpoi came in at second place as runners up. So our decisions were actually well placed. So thank you everybody for joining us, and I'm going to now hand you over to our University Dean of Research, Professor Urmila Bob, who is going to do the vote of thanks. Urmila?
Yes, good morning, colleagues and students in particular. It is indeed an honor and a privilege for me to provide the vote of thanks on behalf of colleagues, and particularly the DVC of Research, Prof. Musa Moshebela, who has taken the time to join us as well. Please, let me start off by thanking the teams globally that has initiated this 3-minute initiative. I think it's a very important initiative, and it demonstrates the ability of the importance of being able to communicate science in a manner that is easily understood, and in this day and age, within very specific time frames. I also would like to thank the Shakila Thakur Prasad from Corporate Relations, as well as the rest of the public relations team. They do an excellent job every single year to ensure that activities such as this are well represented within the University of KwaZulu-Natal. Also to Profs. Colette Muller, Profs. Neil Kurbanali, Prof. Anir Chittergun, Dr. Sunil Gomede, and the rest of the colleagues who champion these initiatives. Prof. Colette Muller in particular. Thank you so much, Colette. You have been extremely passionate about these initiatives, and together with Neil, you all pulled this off together. You, Shakila and Neil, should become the three dream team for the 3-minute event. You've done this exceptionally well for the last 2 years. To the judges, the contestants made our jobs very difficult, but we have persevered, and we were able to make a decision, difficult as it was. To the supervisors of the students, our colleagues, thank you so much. We have more than 9,000 masters and PhD students at the University of KwaZulu-Natal. And this would really not be possible without the efforts of our academic community and our supervisor. The breadth, the scope of the work, just represented by 6 presentations, show how incredibly important research is at UKZN, and the type of research that is taking place, the impact that it will have nationally, globally, and that is critical for the social, economic, and environmental well-being of the communities in which we live. So to our doctoral students, wherever you are, thank you for choosing the University of KwaZulu-Natal. You are now part of our family, and your contributions to research is what builds the research ethos at our universities. To the contestants, those who participated in the preliminary stages within the colleges, as well as our 6 participants today, well done. And to the winners who will represent us at the University of the Free State, we wish you well. We will be there to spur you on, and I'm sure that you will do the best that you can. Colleagues, take care, be safe, and thank you once again for participating with us in this event. Thank you, colleagues. Thank you, Neil.
Thank you, Professor Bob. And thank you to all who joined us in today's meeting and today's competition for the 2022 3-minute thesis competition. I hope we've enlightened you and showed you some of the research that we're showcasing here at UKZN. And I'm looking forward to our 2023 competition, and I hope you diarize that when it comes out on our university notices. So thank you everybody for joining. I wish you have a good Friday and a good weekend. Bye-bye.